As well. Welcome, happy Wednesday if you're joining us over on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on Instagram, wherever you are, whichever platform you are on, come and say hi. If you're not watching live, but you're watching later on replay, come over and say hello. So I am Sarah Bramall, and I'm one half of the Coaching Catalyst duo alongside my lovely partner and co-founder, Rebecca Daniel. And at the Coaching Catalysts, we work with high achieving female professionals to help you to prioritize well-being through training, coaching, and consultancy. We absolutely love the work that we do. And if you're watching, I'd love to hear a bit more about you and what you do. So if you're watching now, come into the comments, pop on and say hi. Let me know how your Wednesday is going. I'm going to talk today about connection and how we can create better connection. So I'm going to explain to you what I mean by connection, and I'm going to give you some ideas, I'm going to offer some ideas about how we can look at how we feel about our sense of connection and what we can do to start to make changes in that area if we choose to. So first of all, why does connection matter? Why is this something that we would choose to speak about in our life? And the reason that connection is so fundamental to us as human beings is that we evolved to be part of a tribe. That's literally how we physically survived in evolutionary terms. We were never intended to be here as individuals. We were never meant to be alone. We were never meant to be disconnected. If you're joining me, come and say hi. Come and pop into the comments and say hi. I'd love to know who's here, who's joining us today. And those of you, if we've got any Brené Brown fans in the house, let me know. Give me a heart, give me some love. If you're a Brené Brown fan, you will know she talks a lot about this. And one of the phrases that she uses, which I really love, is she talks about the fact that we're hardwired for connection. So because of how we evolved, we're literally wired to connect with each other. It's something that's so fundamental to us as human beings. And I think, and I don't know if you'd agree, I'd love to hear what you think, that loneliness certainly has in the past, loneliness has been a taboo and perhaps still is a bit of a taboo. And I think that it's something that we've become more aware of during the pandemic because we were forced into that position of isolation and disconnection from each other. And so we've actually come to a point, I think, in the pandemic where we were like, actually, we have to face this and admit that this is a shared experience for us. So although loneliness, we know is on the rise, we know it's increasing, actually, maybe we are more positioned to be able to talk about it because of the fact it is a shared experience. Got lovely Sue Tomlinson joining over here. Sue, you love Brené Brown as well. So we've got lovely Sue and lovely Angel, both of our Catalyst memories. Okay, oh, you've given up on your queue on the doctor's line. Oh, bless you, Angel. It's a pain, right? It's hard to get through to the doctors. So thanks for joining, ladies. Great to have you here with me, talking all about connection today. And I was just saying that loneliness, I think, and let me know if you agree, but I think loneliness has sort of traditionally been a bit of a taboo to talk about. Hey, Maria Lowe, thanks for joining. I hope you're well. But I think that we've become more accustomed to thinking about it and to talking about it. Now, have I experienced loneliness in my life? Of course I have. I'm a human being. And some of you won't know, but I was an army wife. So I got married when I was quite young. I was 26 years old, and my husband had already signed up for the army. And part of the deal of being in the army, being an army wife, obviously is moving around a lot. So I did experience lots of times where I moved to an unfamiliar environment, moved away from family and friends, and struggled at that time to make new connections sometimes, to get over that feeling of disconnection, missing my friends, and integrating into a new environment, new surroundings, new kind of society. And the time probably at which I most felt disconnected was I moved. Our sort of last move with the army was when I was 20 weeks pregnant with my eldest son, and we moved from one end of the country, from the north of North Yorkshire down to Surrey. I was 20 weeks pregnant. I left behind my lovely friends, a job I loved in Yorkshire. It was a really, really big move. And I got to know the army wives, and they were very welcoming at first. But when it got to the point, and it wasn't very long until I was kind of itching, and I was like, I've got this beautiful baby at home, and I love him, but I know that I need to work as well. And when I went back to work, they stopped talking to me. I was completely sort of isolated from that community, and I thought, wow, these are the people that I thought I was connecting with. Actually, they've kind of shunned me because I'd stepped outside of that culture. It was kind of taboo at that time to go outside of the army fences, and to return to work was kind of not the done thing. And so there definitely, when I look back, have been periods of loneliness, and it's really, really hard. So I'm sure for you, when you look back, there must be times when you think, actually, I have felt disconnected then, or I have felt lonely then. Let me know if that's something that has come up for you. So what do we do then when we've got this feeling of disconnection, when we recognise it? So the first thing is to really check in. Hey, lovely Jodie, thank you for joining us here. Great to have you here on Insta as well. What do we do when we're feeling a bit off, when we're feeling a little bit disconnected? So the first thing is to check in with that and to notice it, because sometimes in the rush and the busyness of life, we just keep going and we kind of fill our time so that we're too busy even to acknowledge to ourselves that feeling of disconnection or of loneliness. So first of all, just to check in and to notice something feels off. What's going on for me? How am I feeling? And then secondly, to think, okay, well, what's my connection to myself? Yeah, Angel, bless you. So Angel has been very brave in talking about her experience, her journey through cancer. And going through cancer, Angel said, sometimes left you feeling lonely. And I'm so sorry to hear that. I can imagine it's very, very hard when you go through an experience that's so monumental, isn't it? It must be hard, Angel, because I think for people that haven't been through that, sometimes it can be hard to understand and hard to connect and know what to say. So thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you're not alone here in having experienced that feeling of loneliness and disconnection at different times. So what's the connection to myself? That's the first thing. So not kind of about what other people want or need, but what do I want or need? And for me, that comes back to, first of all, focusing on what do I want, because our brains are predisposed to negativity, and so often we focus on the things that we don't want. So what is it that I want instead? What's most important to me? And this is the work that we do in coaching, which is called values. So what are the things in life that are most important to me? So when the time came when I felt disconnected at work, I realised it was because I wasn't learning and I wasn't growing. And that's such an important value to me. I felt that disconnection. So what's most important to me? And then about building the confidence to actually go out there and create it. Because again, sometimes when we feel lonely and we feel disconnected, it makes us feel really small. And then we don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to make those moves or change things because we just haven't got the confidence. So that connection to myself, what really matters to me? Let me check in with myself and think, what's going on? It's good to have that sense of curiosity. The second then obviously is about the people around us, the relationships that we have. And one way to see relationships, rather than to think about relationships as being a thing, a kind of a noun, and think, okay, they're my relationships, to ask that question, how am I relating? So how am I relating to other people? How am I relating in terms of the relationships that are maybe closest to me, in terms of friends, in terms of family? How am I relating to the people outside of that, maybe to my wider community? So how am I relating? Because when people come to me for coaching on a one-to-one basis, very, very often they've been really successful in their career, often their parents as well, and they've given everything to being a parent and to their career. But what suffers as a result sometimes is either health, but also relationships, and often relationships to the people that are most important and closest can be the relationships that are the first to go. So it's a real thing, it's a real issue that happens for us when we focus on success in one area. Sometimes those most important things suffer as a result. So how am I relating? How am I feeling about my relationships? And then a third thing to think about is, how am I feeling connected to the world around me? Now, this may or may not be something that's important to you, but for me, it's really important to feel that connection to the world around me in terms of relationships with others, but also in terms of the natural world. So how am I working with the rhythms of the day? How am I connected and noticing the seasons? How can I increase that sense of connection? Because I notice as well in myself, if I let that connection go, that makes me feel kind of discombobulated and disconnected as well. So this really matters. This issue around connection really, really matters, because we live in a world that's kind of pushing us against that. We've gone in the course of a couple of generations from living sort of in our tribes, in our villages, in our places where we grew up, to moving, to migrating for work. And with that comes that loss of community for lots of us. We're moving towards a society where things are becoming increasingly automated. So those daily interactions, which in the past have been really important to our health and well-being, are being eroded. So we might go into the supermarket and not actually speak to anybody, because we just go up and do the quick checkout, and it's automated and great and very convenient, but we lose that opportunity for connection. We also know, and we're starting to see the evidence now for the impact that social media has on our mental health, and particularly on our young people, where again there's that sense of disconnection, because we're seeing this kind of idealized version of somebody else's life, of everybody else's lives, and it looks like everybody else is having a great time, everybody else is having so much fun, and that can increase that sense of disconnection. Lots of different things that can fuel that sense of disconnection. For lots of us still, we're no longer working in person. Lots of us still are working either hybrid or maybe working online, which again is great and really convenient. But unless we're conscious of making time for those relationships and that connection, that can leave us feeling disconnected as well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you had times in your life where you felt, actually, I feel disconnected to either to myself, to the most important relationships around me, or maybe to the kind of the wider situation, to the world, to nature? Have you had those times where you have felt a sense of disconnection? And when you feel disconnected, what tools do you have in your toolbox to do in order to help you feel that greater sense of connection? Would really, really love to hear. Thank you, Sue. So Sue's saying here, Sue's saying that I find connection with nature really helps me to stay grounded. Agree with you, Sue. Absolutely agree with you. And I've noticed a shift in that for me in the last year. We got a dog. We've got a black lab just over a year ago, and actually walking daily with him and walking in nature with him daily really, really helps me connect with nature and connect with the environment around me, and helps me to feel that sense of connection. So that's been a really positive thing for my well-being. So I'd love to hear from you. How do you feel about connection? What is going on for you? And are there changes that you would like to make? If so, let us know. Come and join us, come and have a conversation with us. Now, I'm just going to share, for those of you who are with us on YouTube or Facebook or on LinkedIn, if you are not already, do come over and join our lovely community here. I went there. Here we go. So we've got a banner at the bottom. We've got a lovely community on Facebook, which is called the Coaching Catalysts. That is a lovely way to connect with us there. Come and share your experience. Come and share your story. Thank you so much for being with me, joining me, helping me feel connected to you this Wednesday lunchtime. Let us know your thoughts. If you're watching later on replay, give us a hashtag replay and let us know your thoughts as well. Okay, so thanks so much for being here. I'm going to wrap up this now, but thank you for being here and lovely to connect with you today. All right, take care, everybody.